Hey everybody, welcome to SETTA'S Place. This is story time number 2. What happened? Again, or at first. The first video I did, told y'all about my trip when we came from Virginia to Texas on the plane. That one should already be out. So I decided to go back and give y'all, before I even left to go to Virginia, what happened was story. A couple of things happened that weekend. I think like it was maybe even 3 things, but 2 things I can remember right now. But anyway, I'm still working on this. This is where I was on the first video. I will tell you more about this project on the separate video, but this is just me, sit and chatting and telling y'all my little story times. Okay, so now back up till it was Memorial Day weekend. That Friday, Saturday, yes, that was the weekend. Okay, so, and this is just the apartment. Hear about the apartment things happening here. But y'all know I like to do my story times. If you hadn't seen in the past, I always have what happened was, stories and things like that, just as a, to sit and talk with y'all. Okay, so, what happened was, here at the apartment, that started on Saturday, so let's say Friday, on that Friday before Memorial Day, Jeff was telling me that the refrigerator, it looked like it wasn't as cold as it had been, and we put the dial up to be colder, and figured, it was just that, and didn't pay any attention. So that was Thursday. So that was Friday. So Saturday morning, Jeff, he gets up early. He's a morning person. I'm not. So he gets up and gets something out of the fridge or whatever, and he comes back to the bed and he says, the fridge is not cold. The stuff in it, this doesn't feel cold. Whatever he had, and I was like, So I know we put the dial up, so we went back to the fridge, and we was touching everything on the inside, and inside the fridge, it was basically warm. I'm like, no! So I opened up the freezer, and everything was still froze. It was still cold, but it wasn't staying cold. But everything there was froze. So I shut it real quick to keep all the cold as possible till we figure out what we're gonna do. So, and this is Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. So I call the landlord, the leasing office, the landlord people, and there's no answer. And I think they close early on Saturdays, I think. Did they close early? I think they close early on Saturdays. But also, this was holiday weekend, so they were going to be closed also through Monday. But they do have an emergency maintenance number. So I was like, well, I gotta call the emergency maintenance. So I call them, tell them what's happening, and he's like, oh goodness, because even if they order a new fridge or something, they're closed. They can't even put an order in until they come, So he's like, well, you might have to get a cooler, put stuff in the cooler, and see what we can do, right? So I'm like, all right. So he said he's gonna, put the order in, and so they can get it as soon as possible, and all that. So I hang up, and then a few minutes, just a little bit later, he calls me back. He says I'm on my way, and so I thought he was gonna be coming over just to verify that one wasn't working, or whatever. So, and a little bit after that, I went to the laundry room, which is right attached to our building, the laundry area. And I see in the windows, I'm looking out, and I see the top of a refrigerator go by. I'm like, oh, he got a refrigerator. And I'm assuming it's for me, but why else would a refrigerator be walking by? Because I can't see him, all I see is the top of the fridge. So I run in and I say, Jeff, open the door. He's at the front door. So it turns out, so he I guess he got authorization to just go get a new, because it was a brand new refrigerator. So I guess, I don't know how that works. I don't know if they have, he must have got authorization to go get it. So he goes, picks it up, I guess, and brings it in and gets it in here, and I transfer all the food into that one, and but the old one was still here. So, but he had to wait to get that because it's a holiday. He's only him. He's just the emergency person. So the old one is just sitting there, and they'll get it out later. I was like, cool. As long as we got a brand new shiny refrigerator. I was like, yay! And Chris, I had to take the tape, the clear tape and stuff out of it and everything. So it's brand spanking new. And so that was okay, cool. That was diverted. Got a crisis diverted. So we go on about our daily life. And then, let's see, that night, that was Saturday, yeah. So my brother and his family, they always kind of do things on the weekend where they might cook out or just whatever, make dishes, and everybody comes over. My sciatica was acting up, so I wasn't going to go that night. So my mom and Jeff took my mom over there, and I stayed home. And they just bring something back. And so I am crocheting and watching YouTube, just minding my own business in the living room. And I'm just working up whatever I'm doing, and I hear this bang noise. And at first I thought it came from the front of the apartment. So I look out the window out front. I don't see anything, and I'm like, it kind of sounded like a big thunder, Then I was like, well, it's not raining or nothing. So I said, well, let me go check out the back. I mean, it was a split second. I looked out, and it was time to go out and check out the back. So as I'm going towards the glass doors that you open, sliding doors, and we have our little back porch, little deck, I guess you call it, not deck. It's a cement rectangle right outside, and then we have a fence, a wooden fence around just our area. Each of the apartments have their own, like a privacy fence, and it's not that wide. It's just and through the cracks I see a truck, a big truck, like a pickup truck, whatever, screeching off. I mean, they like off. I'm like, what in the world are they doing all that for? They're in a parking lot. But as I look and I see what happened was that truck backed up too far and pushed our fence in. If it had, it could have came on in too. If it was like going really, it could have came on in through the sliding glass thing and came on in, but it didn't. Wasn't that bad. No, but the fence was pushed in from the outside and it came apart, and pieces of the wood was down. And I'm like, what in the world? So I called Jeff and I told him what happened. And I'm like, oh. So I'm like, okay, that's the second thing. So I was like, well, I'll wait till the office opens on Tuesday, because Monday's a holiday, and let them know they might need to come fix this fence. And also that, I didn't do it. We didn't, break the fence. So I let them know, and they come fix it. So they already did, the guy already came and did the fridge during the day. So that night, the fences ran into. So so I call on Tuesday, and then she's like, what? So she sent somebody, no problem. They get it back together, and it's back the way it's supposed to be. And see, it seemed like there was something else I had to tell y'all that was like, what in the world? But so those are the two. What happened was, I know there was another one. If I remember it, I'll do another video. But now, just to add into the story, because I might as well tell you, when we first moved in, the kitchen needed some cabinets and stuff needed some work, and they did the floors look awesome. They did that, but still they needed some work on cabinets. So I had talked to them about it, but hadn't thought about it until they ready to come. So a few days after that, the guy came fix the fence, blah blah blah. He came, another guy came to say we're here about the kitchen cabinets. I was like, oh cool, come on in. So he looks at them so he can match up the paint or whatever, and the cabinets are like the dark brown, and you can tell it's been painted over and over again. You know how it builds up. And then the people here before, whatever they had up, and they rip it off. You have the tape, and it picks up some of the paint, and so there's a lot of that going on. So he's like, well, I'll probably need to sand, do some sanding and whatever. And he had to match, see what color paint was in here and all that. And I was like, okay. So he took all the information he needed, and he said he was going to start in a few days. And I was going to be, wasn't leaving to go to Virginia till I think the following week. Let me see. But no, that weekend, the following weekend. So he was saying he could come, you know, a day or two after they get everything together. I was like, all right, because I wanted to be here when they did it, and he did that so I could see what's happening. So he leaves, and then and I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, I forgot to ask him if there's any way they could paint them white instead of this dark brown that they had. Go ahead and paint the cabinets white since they have to paint anyway. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so yeah, so I wanted to see if they could paint white. So she calls the landlord person. She calls and says, you know, they came and they assessed everything, and she's like, you know, we were wondering, because he has to sand or something like that, or whatever, we might have to paint it white. I'm like, yay! So I got what I wanted. So I asked her, well, about the handles on them too, because they were some like ancient looking handles that were on there, and maybe they could, you know, check that out. She said she would. So I was like, cool. So he didn't, but they had to schedule it for the following week, and I was gonna be gone. But Jeff would still be here, because he wasn't leaving until like a Tuesday, but they were going to be there on Monday to start doing this. So before I left, I went and emptied out all the cabinets and, you know, made sure everything was kosher that way. And then when he left, he made sure, that Monday he made sure everything was ready for the maintenance person to come in, and from there, so they got it all painted up. They look good. I mean, it's better, way better than it was. They're not brand new cabinets or nothing, but it's better. It looks way better than it did. If I can find a picture, I'll put it up, if I haven't done it already, of the way the kitchen, the color of the cabinets, the way it looked before. And I'm gonna give y'all a little tour after I get everything back put into place, and all my crocheted kitchen things all up and all pretty after we get everything back in. So I'll show you the before now and the after later. But yeah, so there's stuff all over the house from everything was in the cabinets, and then I had to leave, so we just kind of shoved stuff everywhere. So when I came back after that trip, slowly putting things back together. But it looks nice, makes it look so much brighter in there. But so that's what happened. The two things, I know there was something else, I can't remember what it was. I said I have to tell y'all, but I can't think of what it is. But anyway, I'm not gonna keep you any longer, and I've been giving y'all some longer videos. But anyway, y'all, I will be back, if they haven't already, telling y'all about this pattern that I'm using for this yarn, telling y'all about this, and but yeah, I guess that is it for today. I'll talk to you later, and have a blessed day.